Can you feel it a shift in the very atmosphere of the world? A subtle tremor beneath the polished surface of our modern existence. A deep, unsettling sense that the shadows are growing longer, heavier, almost suffocating the spirit. With a gloom that no earthly light seems capable of piercing, you wake up every morning bombarded by news of chaos, of division, of despair, and you ask yourself, is this it? Is this the final act of a world spiraling inevitably into darkness? Is there no hope? No anchor, no voice strong enough to cut through this deafening noise and declare a different reality, a coming reversal, a divine intervention that completely shatters the narrative of defeat. I want to tell you something right now, something so profound, so ancient, yet so urgently relevant to your life today that it will grab your soul by the collar and shake loose the dust of doubt and fear you. Vivi been carrying, and that truth is this: the deepest, darkest hour of the night is not the prelude to an eternal midnight, but the guaranteed precursor to the most magnificent sunrise the world has ever witnessed, because our God specializes in one extraordinary, unimaginable act. He turns darkness into light, and this is not a feel-good platitude. It is a bedrock prophetic promise etched into the very fabric of time and eternity, a divine certainty that is played out on the stage of human history countless times and is set to manifest again right now in your generation, in your lifetime, in your present circumstance. If this message resonated deep within your spirit, if you felt the stirring of hope and the authority of the word break through the noise of the world, then do me a favor right now and hit that like button to send this message of prophetic hope to others who are searching for light. And please subscribe to the channel and ring that notification bell so you not miss any of the powerful truths we share to navigate these final and glorious days. And I strongly urge you to watch our next video appearing on your screen right now, the one titled The 3 Keys to Divine Breakthrough in Times of Crisis, because the next step in your journey from darkness to light is waiting for you there. Think about the sheer audacity of this promise: the world system, the forces of opposition, the ancient spiritual battles that rage unseen. They all operate on the principle of decay, of entropy, of extinguishing the flame of hope. But the word of the Lord thunders over all of it, declaring, "Let there be light," and suddenly the very structure of reality bows to His command. Darkness is not merely the absence of light. It is often a spiritual oppression, a purposeful covering designed to blind, deceive, and paralyze. But when the Creator steps onto the scene, the covering is ripped away, the veil is torn, and the truth is laid bare in the most explosive display of sovereign power you could ever imagine. This is the prophecy for our time. The darkness you see surrounding nations, surrounding families, surrounding your own weary heart is not an sign of final defeat, but a necessary stage in a breathtaking divine drama where God is meticulously preparing the canvas for His greatest masterpiece of glory. The shadows are deep. Yes, the challenges are immense, absolutely, but that is precisely because the light that is about to break forth, the revelation, the breakthrough, the profound shift in spiritual climate will be so undeniably powerful, so universally visible that absolutely no one will be able to deny that the hand of the Almighty has moved, that the King has spoken and the night is over. We are standing on the precipice of a great unveiling, where the secrets whispered in the hidden places, the injustice tolerated in the public squares, the despair harbored in the private moments will all be exposed, not to condemn, but to cleanse, to purify, and to usher in a season of righteousness and clarity that transforms the entire landscape of human experience. It's time to stop looking at the news cycle as the final report and start looking into the prophetic word as the only reliable forecast, because the God who spoke the stars into existence is speaking a new season into being right now. A season where the spiritual scales fall from the eyes of many. A season where truth stands tall and where the long night of confusion gives way to the brilliant clarity of divine purpose. Consider the biblical pattern from the creation narrative, where formlessness and void were met with the command of light, to the ultimate prophetic fulfillment in the person of Jesus Christ, who declared, "I am the light of the world." Every significant divine move is marked by the displacement of darkness, by the powerful, irresistible force of Goddess glory. Even in the deepest personal struggles, when you feel utterly overwhelmed, consumed by anxiety, or crushed by circumstances that seem insurmountable, that is the very moment the divine blueprint kicks in. The darkest valley is always the path. He chooses to display His most astonishing deliverance, His most tender mercy, and His most undeniable power, because it eliminates any room for human boasting and magnifies the glory of the one true God, who makes a way where there is no way, who brings life where there is death, and who always without fail turns every shadow into a spotlight for His redemptive power. So take a deep breath and let this truth sink into the core of your being. The world's despair is not your final destination. The current gloom is not the end of the story. You are living in a moment of great prophetic potential, a pivotal time where you are called not to shrink back in fear, but to stand up and declare with conviction, The night is ending, the word of the Lord is alive, active, and sharper than any two-edged sword, and it is currently slicing through the darkness of our age, preparing the way for a glorious manifestation of God's light that will redefine hope, transform nations, and radically change the course of human history, a glorious prophetic fulfillment that demands our attention, our faith, and our courageous participation. Now that we have established the absolute certainty of God's intervention, that the darkness is a temporary condition and the light is the eternal destination, we must understand the mechanics of this great reversal and what it demands of us, the children of light, the watchers on the wall, because this divine shift is not a passive event that merely happens to the world. It is an active participation, a prophetic mandate given to those who carry He's flamey. Understand this deeply. The turning of darkness into light is fundamentally an act of judgment and restoration, a process where the hidden things are revealed, the crooked paths are made straight, and the systems built on deception begin to crumble. Under the weight of divine truth, it means that the things that have operated comfortably in the shadows, the corruption in high places, the spiritual strongholds over territories, the deep-seated lies that have governed societal thinking are now being exposed, not slowly, not gradually, but suddenly, dramatically, and with an undeniable force that leaves no stone unturned, because God is raising a standard of righteousness that demands a complete overhaul of the current status quo. This light is penetrating every area of life. It is a light of clarity that exposes the motives of the heart, both in the public square and in your private prayer closet. It is a light of awakening that shakes people out of spiritual slumber and forces them to confront the reality of their eternal state. It is a light of power that empowers the weak, raises the fallen, and equips the humble to become carriers of transformation. And you are not merely observers of this process. You are the vessels through which this light must shine most brightly, a city set on a hill whose purpose is to dispel the surrounding gloom. So how do we participate in this prophecy? How do we move from merely surviving the darkness to becoming agents of the dawning light? It starts with a relentless focus on the word, a deep commitment to prayer, and an uncompromising stand for truth. In a culture that celebrates fluidity and ambiguity, we must become anchors of divine certainty, speaking with authority and living with integrity that cannot be challenged, because your life, your testimony is part of the unfolding prophecy, a proof that the light is indeed overcoming the darkness, a living demonstration of the great reversal. We are entering a season where the wisdom of the world will look foolish, and the simple wisdom of God will prove to be the only lasting source of solutions. The fear of the Lord will become the most valuable asset, because it is the beginning of true knowledge and the surest path. Out of the confusion and anxiety that grips the masseuse, let your heart be strong, let your spirit be unshakable, let your voice declare the goodness and the sovereignty of God, even when the evidence of your senses screams the opposite, for this is the posture of faith that unlocks the floodgates of divine light into a desperately dark world. The call is clear. Be a difference maker, be a standard bearer, be a light that refuses to be hidden under a basket, because the time for hiding is over, the time for compromise is past. The Lord is mobilizing his forces for a great harvest, a great cleanup, a great manifestation of his glory, and your willingness to step out of the shadows of fear and into the brilliance of your divine calling is the final piece of the puzzle that turns the prophetic word into historical reality. The night is almost done. The cock is about to crow. The King of glory is preparing his final move. Therefore lift up your heads, you gates, lift up your everlasting doors, and the King of glory shall come in. Who is this King of glory? The Lord strong and mighty, the Lord mighty in battle. He is the one who transforms the deepest darkness into the brightest light. And he is doing it right now for you, for your family, and for this generation. Believe it, declare it, live it. If this message resonated deep within your spirit, if you felt the stirring of hope and the authority of the word break through the noise of the world, then do me a favor right now and hit that like button to send this message of prophetic hope to others who are searching for light. And please subscribe to the channel and ring that notification bell so you do not miss any of the powerful truths we share to navigate these final and glorious days. And I strongly urge you to watch our next video appearing on your screen right now, the one titled The 3 Keys to Divine Breakthrough in Times of Crisis, because the next step in your journey from darkness to light is waiting for you there.